Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's it been going for you guys so far?
We've gone through the traditional highs and lows of 28 practices. 29, I guess we would have Thursday as our last practice. About 30 practices for the first game. Our pluses right now have been the fact that we've had fantastic energy from the team. The enthusiasm and the conditioning level we've had is one of the major concerns we've had. So I give our team an A on that.
Yeah.
An A minus in our team chemistry. The willingness to be unselfish, play together, help each other, help freshmen out, junior college transfers, try to work on that. And probably a B when it comes to, basketball, IQ of implementing everything. Done a really good job, not a great job. We have some lapses or concentration. And then I would say that the area of biggest concern, and this is probably all coaches throughout the land, is just communication. I think it's an issue globally when it comes to generation, the millennials of the world, and willingness to talk on all things, not just a screen or a play, but we like to just think we have to talk through the play, through the entire play defensively, and getting all 5 guys on the same page. When I say here's what set we're going to run or an action we're going to run, you can't expect that somebody knows it just because you said it. You have to get some nonverbal clues and some acknowledgement, and some head nods, thumbs up, and the sport that has to have everybody on the same page.
Right.
One guy breaks down offensively and wasn't right at the set, didn't understand it. The guy doesn't understand defensively or what we're doing, then we've lost it. So I think that's a mixed bag of an A, B, and a C.
Yeah.
I see at different levels.
Yeah. What have you seen from the new guys, the transfers and the freshmen as well, and how are they coming along so far?
Well, freshman Mark Crow, we met today, will redshirt, barring any other, serious injuries and everything. He's 6'5". We're really happy with his progression. But right now, with the returners in place, having I think 10 returners, there's not the transfers. Kuba, who's Jacob Nitzel, Poland transfer, he shows his flashes. Victor Joseph has had some outstanding practices, but then experienced a sore throat, pharyngitis type of thing that he was out for 3 to 4 days on some meds. So missed a bit of time there. Josh Mishler has been solid, been an anchor for us at kind of a 3-man from Saddleback Junior College. The real most positive surprise by far for us, steadiness, spark, basketball IQ, energy, is Donovan. Donovan out of New York City through Odessa Junior College, has 3 years eligibility. He has just raised the team's level. Ridge was out with the concussion. Donovan was right there. We didn't miss a beat. Jalen came out with a good start. Donovan's competed and made Jalen have a great start. Jalen has upped his game because Donovan has added so much speed, quickness, and energy to it. So between Donovan and Ridge and Jalen, we have 3 quick ball handlers, attackers. And then the other surprise, what we thought could help us, is new to the program via sitting out a year, is Kyle Toth, KT. KT's been tremendous steady. He's a knockdown shooter. He makes very few mistakes. He had 12 or 13 points in one of his last games before he stepped out and redshirted all of last year. So he's back, mature, settled, and really. So that's the core of the new guys. I think that was 5 guys I mentioned there. So I guess we would be returning 11. The disappointing part is, of course, that Taylor Sutliff is out for the rest of fall quarter, and we may expect to get some contribution out of him during conference play.
Gotcha.
As a last year starter for the majority part of the year.
Yeah.
So that's one that, fortunately, we have the depth. We felt like we have anywhere from 8 or 9, possibly 10 guys that could start. Zach Gordon has competed for playing time at the 5. Alex Abrams has been at the 5, and we've had Hank Hollingsworth as a freshman redshirt, has shown some real progress. But we'll probably start off playing majority of it looking even at Luke Meikle at a 5, and Josh Martin at 4, to be able to play small and quick. So we have a variety of ways to play, which I really hope that helps us over the course of 30 games.
Yeah. Do you know who will start on Friday?
We're about 90% there. We have our primary lineup, but we have a tweak or two injury-wise. We just want to make sure we have a couple guys nursing, a couple things that were able to go today, some Achilles, some hand injuries. We have 3 guys that if they're not, we've had 3 different lineups in the last 6 or 7 days. The best part is I don't think our guys are going to blink,
Right.
whether there's a tweak here, whether Shipley is starting, whether Mishler's starting, whether Victor starts, whether Donovan starts. The nice part is right now it's kind of we've had enough practices that there's not an ideal chemistry that's good or bad. I mean, it's like, okay, there's 8 or 9 guys that can be in. No different than if you sub 5 minutes into the game and the rotation starts to go from there.
Is that something that culturally, maybe is a little bit easier too? You guys played a lot of guys early on last year, and a lot of guys got to see time and
I
kind of
think the
cycle
biggest
through.
thing culturally is that the team likes each other. In the scrimmages that we had, the thing that we praised our guys, our energy was great, and the enthusiasm for one another was so good. Meaning that they like each other. Like when a redshirt freshman or a transfer comes in off the bench and hits a shot, and there's no crowd, and there's no reason for them to act like celebrating. They were just genuinely pleased with somebody who got hot, made plays, and giving them high five. And we've had good chemistry. Most other teams, we've never had any real cancerous teams. But there's a difference between a team that is willing to work together, and there's a team that embellishes the success of others. The word that we like to use is selflessness. Who's that selfless? Not selfish, but selfless. And is willing to feel that, hey, if you got it, and I pass up my shot and you make it, I'm happy for you. And if I pass it to you and you miss it, I still respect that. That's that next step that we've started to get into, and I think that has led to an acceptance of, okay, if you're starting, if he's starting, I come off the bench, I got you. That's some maturity. I think that's actually a very cultural shift right now. I think our culture in the last 15 years has done a better and better job of creating a student athlete that go recruits to Cal Poly wise that's accepting of other people. Now, I don't think they communicate as well. They have the unfortunately they can't text or Snapchat each other during the game. My constant line to them is you have to actually talk and listen. You can't look at your phone to get the answer during the game.
How would you contrast this year's team to last year's team?
We are a full letter grade quicker. With Jalen Ridge being the 2 quick guys last year, we've added Kyle Toth at a 2, who's much quicker than Reese. We've added Victor Joseph at a 2, that's lightning quick, a creator, and Donovan, who may be the quickest kid that I've coached in 30 years. So team quickness is if last year team was a C, this year is an A-, a grade in some. Team experience, right now we're very unproven. Last year's team I know could handle a lot of adversity. We lost a lot of close games. Never really let the emotions fall out. It's kind of like, well, you know what, we'll get better, and they stayed with it and continued to have close game after close game after close game. Never saw the collapse. The emotional stamina was proven, and that was because that team had already experienced the stay with it, 2014, we can win 3 games and go to the tournament and get hot. So they lived on that. But I think this team has much more sense of urgency that we want to do something now. And I think we've created that urgency by concentrating on issues like conditioning on the court and off the court, perimeter defense, extending the pressure, creating a culture of urgency. Like, no, let's not wait until March to really have a run. It's okay to go win 2, 3, or 4 games in November, December, or January, and try to get hot earlier and establish winning culture earlier.
I haven't talked to you since it came out. Preseason poll came out, and you guys were picked 9th. What was your reaction to that? I asked your players what their reactions were, and
Well,
got a range.
It's funny because I've heard probably that question asked 4 different times, but unfortunately, or unfortunately both, the 4 different times were from 4 different preseason polls. Like this, there was a national poll that has 6th, and then there was something that had a 7th, and something that has 5th, and something that has 9th. And I've always, I'd love to be in a position that we are preseason #1 pick, but my comment would be the same whether we were preseason #1 as we were preseason number 9, 6, 5, or 3. And I think 90% of every coach in the nation is going to say the same thing. We're 0-0, and the poll doesn't get us a point or a win. So I don't think anybody wants to celebrate, hey, we're predicted to win the national championship, or hey, we're predicted to finish 9th in the Big West. I just think that most every coach and player knows you got to go do it on the court, and it's not going to give us any. We don't start off with a 9-point deficit because we're picked 9th, and we don't get a 9-point advantage if you're picked first. So I think there's enough maturity to look at that and say that's good. I mean, so you got to circle that and use that on the bulletin board every day. Come on, I call it sophomore motivation. If that's your form of motivation, you're pretty poorly motivated. I don't need a preseason poll to motivate me for practice or games or recruiting or anything. It's like, come on, I have a passion I live by. I don't live by an external motivator.
What are your expectations and goals for this weekend?
Well, we want to see, really, I think 2 things. We want to see if our #1 we've talked about is, I'd like to see if we can continue to pick the pace up without turning the ball over a lot. Can we score without being, frivolous with turnovers? Okay, we scored 72. We had 16 turnovers, and we gave up 78. Would like to, when it comes to defensive side, would like to see if we can defend the 3-point line better over this weekend. Can we identify shooters better? These 2 teams are very aggressive, penetrating teams, though, so it may not be the best example. From what we know, they both have guards that are attacking guards. What we know from the Big West teams is from Irvine to Davis, you've got to be able to identify shooters. In the last 2-3 years, when we've struggled, our defensive 3-point field goal percentage is lower than is not lower than our own. And you have to have, I think we have to be able to defend the 3 better than they're defending the 3. And so the years that we've had an advantage of 2 points or more, we've had winning seasons. So if we shoot 37% and we hold you to 34, we're probably going to win 17, 18 games and be in the top half of the conference. Now, that stat can be distorted when you're playing a couple of penetrating teams and not the great 3-point shooters. I think these teams are going to be aggressive penetrating teams. So I'm not overly concerned about a 2-day stat, but that's kind of the concern for the first month, the first 6, 8, 10 games. Can we be a little better defensively, getting out to the perimeter and forcing more? Our goal is to force more contested 2s.
Cool. Thanks, Joe.